Hey YouTube, Mark here. This should be my last video on the microphone helmet, and I think I've got it figured out. I've actually been working on this quite a bit. I ended up going with a completely different microphone, that Movo 100. It just wasn't cutting it for me. It just didn't seem to be working the way I was hoping. So I bought a new microphone. But in my previous episode on this series, I was also saying that I was thinking that the GoPro was giving me issues, that there was something wrong with the microphone port. And I believe there still is an issue with that port. Even when I got the new microphone, I was trying it on that GoPro and yeah, it just wasn't working. You know, it was just one of those things that it'd be fine for a little while, then all of a sudden it would just cut out, get a little staticky, and the sound might come back. But anyway, I got my new camera in, and I want to take a moment to show you exactly what I bought. Now, I bought this used, but I got a really good deal on it, so I'm happy with it. And I've also got my helmet set up now with the microphone in it. And like I said, I've been playing with this for a while, and I wanted to make sure that it worked before I actually made this video so I could tell you exactly what I ended up with. So let's get going into this video. Let me show the camera first. And everything that came in, I bought it off of eBay, and it wasn't the full complete package of what would normally come with the camera, but I got a couple extra perks along with it. So let me show you what I got. Okay, so this is pretty much everything that I got in that eBay auction. The only thing I don't have anymore is they gave me a cheap little charger, and I did not like it at all, so I got rid of it. But this is basically what came with my system. I got the FDR-X1000V, and it's made by Sony. It's 4K quality. Pretty simple, one button operation as far as turning on and off. This is a display screen, so you can scroll through menu options and stuff like that. It's pretty decent, pretty easy to use. I'm still learning it, but it's going well. It's also got a Wi-Fi ability, so I can actually sync this camera up to my cell phone now and get a picture off of it. Next to the camera, they gave me a battery, and of course they gave me that battery charger, which I don't like. But the battery just goes in the back, just like so. They also gave me a 64 gig micro SD. So yeah, that's what it gave me. Micro USB just kind of goes in right there. You just push it down and it clicks into place. So I got my battery here and I got my micro USB right there. I can close the back lid and lock it so that does not open up. I like that idea too. The other thing that came with it was the waterproof housing. I've already made modifications to this to do what I wanted it to do. So I got that. This is just a lanyard that comes with my helmet mounting system that I bought, which I'll go over in a little bit. And they also gave me this nice little carrying case. And it's got a pocket in here for your camera and or your waterproof housing. And I've also purchased a few other things. The camera also came with a little quick reference manual startup system. Alright, so let me get into what I have bought. I first went out and bought extra batteries and a nice multi-port battery charger. And I like the fact that the charger name here, it's actually the same brand as my batteries, so I like that idea too. Okay, so one of the first things I did for a modification was I needed access to the headphone jack that's right here, which means I had to take off this little door. And there's a little screw right here. You pop that screw out. This white plate right here actually comes off. And then there's another little screw that holds the door on right there. Underneath that plating, you got to take that screw out to remove the door. I put the screw back in so I wouldn't lose it, put the white cover back on, and put that screw back in its place. And I'm also thinking I may take like a black paint marker and just paint this whole thing black, just so it kind of melds in with my black helmet. That way I don't have a big white block sitting outside my helmet. For the waterproof housing, I needed a way to get the microphone cord to pass through and into that hole. Now when I first got this front hatch door was actually attached with like almost like a rubbery umbilical line, so it wouldn't come off. It was kind of stayed attached to the unit. That little strap was actually going to be in my way, so I actually cut that little rubbery piece off. I just got rid of it all together, so now the door just comes completely off. But what you do is you put your camera in here, go like that. This little flap actually hooks onto the very front bottom edge of the camera or on the door, and then you just snap it back and it locks into place. And then this, as you can see, is where I drilled my hole for my microphone port. But this little thing right here slides to actually lock. I don't know if you can see it or not. It actually locks this piece into place. So now I cannot, no matter what I do, I cannot pull that out. I'm pulling pretty hard and it's not coming off. But when I was drilling that hole for my microphone port, I actually thought that I was going to end up drilling all the way through this little locking clip, locking latch, whatever you want to call it. In fact, that was spring loaded, so you had to pull it back and hold it and then pop this up to get it loosened. But I had to take that spring out, so now there's no spring, which is fine. I don't need that. But if I want to latch it shut, when I put my microphone cord in there, it'll automatically just slide that up for me. I just got to remember I got to just push it down when I'm ready to take my camera out of the case. So that was the modification I had to do for the waterproof housing, which of course now that I drilled a hole in it, it's no longer waterproof, which is fine. I really don't need it waterproofing. I'm not going scuba diving with it. But it's waterproof enough to where if I'm riding and it's raining, the rain's not going to come back up into the camera. It will just keep on coming and flowing down. So it's waterproof enough for me. And the way I ended up finding the marking on here was I had the camera out of the case like this. I put tape, just like a little masking tape, right along the edges here, and I was able to just mark on the tape about where that port is. And that way when I put it in the housing, I could see where that mark was, and then I could drill up, kind of keeping it lined up with that mark. And it worked out pretty good. I needed to do a little extra grinding and elongate the hole a little bit, but I wasn't too far off. I think I was only like maybe a 1/16 of an inch off. It was really close. That's the modification that I've done to the camera, taking off just that little door. And the modification I've done to the waterproof housing of drilling a hole in the bottom for my microphone cord to plug into my camera. Alright, so let me go over this little system I got for mounting the camera onto the helmet itself. It's kind of like GoPro. I've got a nice little clip here. Actually, that's not little, that's big compared to a GoPro clip. But as you can probably see, it curves, and right here is actually a fairly flat area of my helmet. Now when I got this, they did not give me a flat surface, a flat clip holder, so I had to use a rounded one. So what I did, you might be able to see in there, where it rounds up, I put an extra layer of the two-sided industrial tape, the thick 3M foam tape that they give. I actually put a couple extra pieces in there, and I really wanted to make sure that I had it good and secure and stuff, not just a little bit on either side. I wanted stuff in the middle. So I've actually put a thick strip down the middle, and then deeper inside in the actual middle here, I've got a little piece here and another little piece here. If I had to do it over again, I would have just taken that rounded piece, the rounded clip mount, and taken sandpaper, and I would have just sanded the damn thing flat. It would have made it a whole lot easier. But, you know, live and learn from my mistakes, right? If you do this, go ahead. If you got a nice flat area like I have on mine, just sand down the surface of the clip and you'll be fine. Okay, so then what this came with was this system here. Now, of course, it's actually two pieces. Let me take it apart. Actually, it's three. When I bought the system, it came with this, and it came with the clip mount for the helmet, but it actually didn't come with the clip itself, which was stupid. I don't understand that. So I actually had to turn around and buy, I think it was just a 2-pack of these things for like $5 or something like that. And when I got it, it was that bright yellow color. So I painted the outside of it black. This is the mounting unit that you'll actually put the camera on. Okay, so as you can see, there's threadings there, and there's holes there and there. And then on the clip, you can see the threaded part is there, and you got a little screwdriver head on the back side of it. And then you got this little post that sticks up as well. And that little post will actually fit into one of these holes here. And I've actually found out that you really got to screw this on tight. Otherwise it gets kind of loose. Okay, then this part, the two pieces that are now screwed together, will actually clip into that the bracket that we have attached to the helmet. So that's kind of what it looks like. Now, when I started trying to figure out what I wanted to do for a helmet mount, a lot of people were actually, I think, using this in the wrong way. Let me explain. Okay, so basically this is how a lot of people were setting up their camera on their helmet. And they were complaining because this has the ability to pivot. Okay, then you just tighten it up, and if I wanted that angle to be like that, I could leave it like that. So people were trying to push it up, and you know, they could only get it so far, and maybe it still wasn't level to the horizon and stuff like that. But it's because these buttons that are in there are hitting up against the round disc part of that mount. You know, and they just couldn't get it up high enough. So they were saying that the thing was a piece of junk and it wasn't worth buying and stuff like that. But what I found out, let me take this off. Let me take off the camera real quick so I can show you exactly how it's set up as, you know, those people were using. So it's sitting on the helmet here, which means that you're kind of looking at the back of the camera. And you can see that, you know, the camera would be up against this. But if you loosen this up, you can flip this around. I mean, hell, you can actually loosen this all the way off, take this out, and flip it around like that. And that's what I did. So now, take my little screw and put that back in there. So now, when I put my camera on, I don't have to fight with limited space here. My camera sits all the way on the top, you know, like that. And I can move it in and out and twist it and all this other stuff. And it's awesome. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm still trying to play with the angle a little bit because this whole system can pivot this way. You know, I can rotate it to where it kind of points up or points more down. And then this can be moved so I can get a nice flat horizon view. And then the screw here can actually slide just a little bit so I can get as close to my helmet as possible, so that way I don't have it sticking out too far. But then when the camera's on there, it can move like this, and I can point it to where it's kind of shooting across my, you know, if I'm sitting there riding like this, I can have it to where it's shooting it kind of across my face just a little bit. Or I can do it the other way and point it towards the road and the far ditch and everything that's over on my left side. So that's what I did. So when I put mine on, I don't have to worry about this. My screw is actually pointing up. That's what I can do. Then this little umbilical cord, safety cord, I don't know what you want to call it, I actually wrap that around this pivot point right here, and then I also feed my chin strap through it. So if by chance the the mount breaks off the helmet, or the mount actually breaks, or somehow the camera flies off, I've got the tether cord actually attached to the housing of the waterproof housing. So if something flies off, I'm going to catch it. And then I'll feel it tug on my chin strap to know that it fell off. So that's the way I do it. But now if I put this on, okay, so you can see how it's kind of tilted a little bit. Okay, no problem. So I can, I gotta find where everything's at. Okay, there it is. So now I can take this, I can loosen it, I can lay it, hell, I can lay it like that if I wanted to. But I can pick it up and I can move it to where it's at a nice horizontal to the landscape. Okay, so now I'm riding like this, and maybe, like I said, it Bluetooth or Wi-Fi is to my phone, so I can actually see an image of what this is shooting on my phone, which is really nice. And if all of a sudden I don't like, the angle, maybe it's pointing off too much to this side, I can actually take my camera and move it to where it points more that way, or vice versa. I can point it outwards that way. Okay, then say maybe it's pointing too close to the sky. There's a little button right here. I push that in, and it's hard to move, it really is. I can point it down farther, or I can pushing that button, and I can pivot it up. And I can go all the way to that. I can even go even farther if I wanted to. But I tell you, a lot of the negative stuff that I was seeing online about this mount system was because they had it to where this post was sticking out down here, and because it was so close to this part, you had very limited abilities on movement, on getting the right angle and stuff like that. So you got to kind of think outside the box a little bit. And yeah, I really like this a lot. Like I said, the only issue I have is the screw that holds this mount to the clip. Sometimes it comes loose, and I just got to take the screwdriver and tighten it back up. So, but yeah, I like this. I like it a lot. So that's my camera. That's how I get it set up on my helmet now. And then of course here's my microphone cord, and it will just stick up through the housing into the camera, just like that. And usually what I'll do is all this extra cord, I'll actually wrap around this a couple of times just to pull it a little snugger and make sure that it all fits well. So that's that. Let me show you how exactly I got the microphone set up. Okay, so let me take off this cheek pad and show you exactly what I've done. So you can see I've got furry material covering my cheek pad, and I've sewn it all the way down. Now this acts as a dead cat. If you don't know what a dead cat is, it's basically furry material that you put over a microphone so the wind doesn't hit basically a solid, hard substance like material. I mean, you don't think of material as being hard, but when it comes to wind noise, this is, the material and stuff is what's going to create it. So wind hitting that microphone, and material like your shirts and stuff like that, the wind just blows right through that stuff. with this, it keeps on hitting those multiple layers of fur and it diffuses that wind, so you really don't get any wind noise. So like I said, I've sewn it all down so it really doesn't come off that easily. Back here it's pretty much open. I didn't really sew it all the way down along the back. I figured I didn't need to. Now the microphone, like I said, I replaced the microphone. And I went with a microphone that's actually used for a motorcycle developed camera system. I believe it was the Ghost system. And they have pretty decent microphones for their system. So I just ordered the microphone off of that. And it's got a standard 3.5 millimeter plug. And actually I found out that if you're trying to use something like a microphone from your cell phone, those rings and posts don't line up properly. So yeah, it's better to just use a standard lapel style microphone, but get a good quality one. That Movo 100 just wasn't going to cut it. What I did is I cut a little hole inside this little plastic. I tore out just a little bit of the foam and stuck my microphone in there. Now if I feel in, I can feel the microphone like right about here. And when I go for rides now, I get pretty decent sound. And actually I've got some ride footage where I've been talking, and I'll show you that now to show you exactly how good my sound is. I mean, it's not great. I still get some wind noise, but I tell you, it's a hell of a lot better than it was on that last video. So enjoy the footage. Okay, let's take this microphone out for a test. Okay, let's see, making sure I got everything. And we're off. Come on, dude. Now there is quite a bit of wind today. Winds are going at about 15 miles an hour today. Right now it's kind of at a cross breeze to me. My visor is up. So right now you should be getting the full force of the 30 mile an hour that I'm doing, and the crosswind as well. Beautiful day out today. It's like 60 degrees. Completely blue sky, and I do not see a cloud anywhere in the sky. Now one thing I don't like about this helmet is when I put my sun shield visor down, it rattles a bit. So I just put my sun visor down. I'm hoping that it'll start rattling, and I want to see if the microphone will start picking it up. So, turn my head a little bit, get the rattle going. I don't know if the microphone picked that up or not. I'll find out when I get home. Speed up a little bit, get up to 35. Still got my wind visor up. I just have the sun visor part down. Alright, now I'm getting up to 45. But my tire change did really well. I am not getting any air leaks or anything like that. I've been checking the pressure about every couple of days.
even though I hadn't been riding anywhere. I just wanted to see if the pressure was going to stay good. And so far it has. Alright, I'm up to 55 miles an hour now. I do have my face shield down. Once I get up to that 40, 45 area, I've always got to drop my face shield down. I don't know why, but whenever I take strong winds like that right in my face, I have a hard time breathing. And it's kind of hard to moto vlog if I can't talk. Up here a ways is a special place I'll take you to. It's called the Beckman Mill. It's a historical place. It's actually on the Wisconsin Historical Registry. The original landowners were what they call coopers. What coopers do, they make wooden barrels, you know, like wine barrels and whiskey barrels and things like that. But then the Beckman family bought the land and bought the property, the houses, you know, all that stuff, and they turned it into a grain processing place. You know, a place that they can go and grind up your corn or your wheat or whatever. And it stayed operational for a long time. Actually, they were in business from the late to mid 1800s. I think it was I want to say 1830s, 1840s. And the mill is actually still operational. So people can still bring just your standard dent corn and bring it in for grinding and have your own ground cornmeal. That's pretty cool. Now keep in mind, I'm going straight into the wind, so I was doing about 55, almost 60 miles an hour, plus I've got that 15 mile an hour headwind right into me. Took that kind of slow. There it looked like there was a bit of gravel and sand right on that corner. And I had a car right on my butt. So yeah, this Beckman Mill, they now bring people out here. You know, they bring like school kids and stuff out here. I can't remember if it's straight or down the road. I think it's down this road. They actually bring school kids out here to see how the milling process works. So yeah, that's actually the Beckman Mill right in front of us through the intersection here. Beckman Mill County Park, Rock County. We've had family reunions out here. We've rented out the pavilion right here. And gift shop. I think the mill is actually in that building. This White House, I think that used to be the old cooperage, to where they were making the barrels. You know what? I think that gray building down there, I think that's where the mill is, now that I remember. Because there's a little bit of a dam right over there, and it feeds off the dam. It uses the water power to turn the mill. But they got blacksmiths that work here and everything. So yeah, this is a really cool place. Got an old sawmill sitting outside there. There's the dam. A lot of people come down here and go fishing. Looks like a group of kids are doing some road pickup. That's pretty cool. Get the kids out here to get the area looking nice. Don't understand that. Oh, County H is turns. I was gonna say, there's no reason why I can't turn left here. This is St. Lawrence that I'm on. This will take me back into Beloit, just a couple of blocks from my house. I am doing roughly 55, 60 miles an hour. Trees are really starting to look good around here. They're starting to blossom and bloom for the spring. So they're finally starting to get some green color. I love the look of old barns and old silos. I mean, to me that's just cool. Nostalgic, I guess, in a way. Alright, dropping the speed down to 40. This is just like a small little community out here. It's not a really town that has a name or anything, but it's just a row of houses that, you know, there's just a bunch of them. So they lower the speed limit to 40 through this area. Big tree, huh? Been down for a while. Now this driveway here used to go to you know, like your yard waste disposal. The compost, like, that's the word I was looking for. And it was back over the hills on that side. And they had the contract for the city of Beloit to collect that that composting material, you know, leaves, sticks, fallen tree lumber, stuff like that. But poor management, they lost their bid. They can't do it anymore. So now the Beloit citizens have to take their yard waste all the way up to Janesville and dump it up there at the Rock County site. That house was a big historical preservation project. That house was so damn dilapidated. Same with this house here. I wanted to buy this old church at one point. It was up for sale, but the inside was like really in horrible shape.
Okay, so to connect the Wi-Fi to your phone, I've got the system turned on. I find the Wi-Fi on my list of Wi-Fi accounts, and then I bring up that Image Edge app, and then it connects to my phone. So this is exactly what the camera is seeing right now. So what I can do now, put my helmet on. So now, like when I'm sitting on my bike, handlebars, come on. I can actually look at my phone and make sure that the tilt is right. You know, if I need to lower this down, I can do that. Or if I want to take it back up and point it up higher, I can do that. If I need to move it in more or move it out more, I can do that. If the horizon level's not right, I can loosen up that little nut and I can actually pivot and bend this thing to where I think that the horizon level should be. But then what I can do too is I can hit that little red button there and I can start recording. So right now it's recording me talking to you, and you're seeing this because I'll put it up in the footage. Then I can turn it off. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And then what I can do too is that once I get that shot lined up to where I think I'm going to want it, I can just go back into my Wi-Fi and I can turn it off. That's it. That's the basic rundown on how this works, how I can get it together on my phone. There's other things I can do, you know, through my phone and through the camera as well. I can change settings and white balance and colors and stuff like that. Now, a lot of people say there's a color setting on here called vivid. I actually don't know if I like that because it's almost too vivid. So for right now, I actually leave it alone. And everything that you're seeing is basically been in the standard colored mode. All right, well, this is Mark saying thanks again for watching. See you on the road.